Hi everyone, hello again, welcome back. This is, I believe, video 5 of our 10 videos covering softball during lockdown. Alright, so trying to give you some ideas of how the game works, some of the skills, drills that we use, and give you some ideas of how you can practice them whilst we're in lockdown and you may not have access to a lot of equipment, a lot of space, or anyone else to play with. So yeah, video 5. What we're going to talk about today is pitching. All right, obviously a very important part of softball, and being able to pitch to get the game going. There are some rules surrounding it, which I will touch on the basics. I won't go into too much detail, but we'll touch on the basics of some of the rules, and we'll touch on the basics of how to pitch. And yeah, just kind of go into some detail about that sort of stuff. So first things first, as usual, we're going to do the warm-up, then we're going to have a bit more of an extended warm-up before we get into the pitching. So let's get going with the first warm-up. Next 30 seconds is going to be star jumps. Okay, so next are windmills. So what you're going to do, feet shoulder width apart. Using your hands, you are just going to bend and touch your foot with the opposite hand. Okay, just bend your knees a little bit. Try and keep your legs fairly straight, but with a little bit of bend in them. So. So we're going to warm up our legs a little bit more. I call this one open and close the gate. So all you're going to do is just jogging on the spot. Every couple of seconds, you're just going to bring your knee up, out and round. So for this side, up, out and round. Once you've done that on each leg, you can then bring it up and back in. Same for the other side, up and back in. So let's have a little go at that. bring it in a little bit, so I'm just going to rotate our arms. And then we're going to move backwards. Do this one, see if you can do one arm forwards, one arm backwards. If you can do that, can you do it the other way? Okay, so as usual, next part of our warm-up is going to be some throwing and catching. With a partner, if you've got a partner, fantastic. If not, again, just against the walls, fine. We're going to mix it up a little bit today. So previous weeks we have done the extended warm-up as just kind of throwing, regular throws against the wall. Picking out a target on the wall if you want to kind of aim for a target. But the main aim is, yeah, just to get that shoulder warmed up, get your arm warmed up a little bit more. Gradually starting to work back a little bit further. Now, do that again, fantastic, regular throws, not a problem with that. But today, can we also add in catching some fly balls and fielding some ground balls? All right, so moving a little bit closer to the wall and just warming up and doing those two. So I'm going to do it now. Do it with me or pause the video, do it yourself. Have a little look at what I do first though. And yeah, have a go at that. So a couple of regular throws first. Okay, you guys can do it for a little bit longer. For the length of the video, I'm going to stop there and I'm just going to move on to the next part. So, fly balls, get a little bit closer to the wall, as we've done previously. Throw the ball underarm against the wall, catch the fly ball. All right. Okay, again, you may need to move your feet. It's not always going to come straight towards you. All right, so move your feet, challenge yourself. Can you make it bounce further back so you have to make the move? All right, just remembering again, good technique from, I believe video 3 was fly balls. But yeah, just remember the good technique from that. And final one, ground balls. All right, we've done it before. Video 2, good technique, getting the glove down, second hand in to protect your face and secure it. Okay, and moving your feet. Try field it in front of you if you can. Okay, see how the ball's not always bouncing the same? It's not always coming into the same area. The ground's not level, so it's not always going to come back, so be prepared to move. But then, yeah, that is our extended warm-up for today. I only did a couple each just to show you, but you guys can extend it out for as long as you feel you need to. All right. So if you need to pause the video to go do that, go ahead. Okay. So first part of pitching that I want to go through, just a couple of the rules. So I play slow pitch softball, and there is also a version of it called fast pitch softball. Now, the way they are pitched is completely different. All right, both underarm, but one slow pitch has to go up in an arc and back down, whereas fast pitch just goes directly from the pitcher straight towards the batter. Now, like I say, I've never played fast pitch softball. I've seen it. I've played slow pitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with showing you how slow pitch works, and then we will kind of touch on fast pitch after that. So slow pitch softball. there is something called the strike zone, and it's the same for in both fast pitch and slow pitch. There is a strike zone, and what the strike zone is, it is the area that the pitcher needs to get the ball to go through for it to be a good pitch. All right, and that area is defined by the person who is batting and the base. All right, so this is home plate. This is what home plate looks like. Okay, it'll be on the floor like this, flat on the floor, and if you see kind of the length here, that is how wide the strike zone is. All right, it's not very wide. All right, and the height of the strike zone is from just below the kind of the person's shoulders, so around about their armpit, their shoulder, and their knee. All right, so if you imagine a person, someone you know, even yourself, standing side on. So if I move back so you can see this in frame, okay, if I was to stand here as a batter, the area you have to throw the ball into is between my knee, my shoulder, and over the width of that plate. Okay, so it is a very small area. All right, if the ball is thrown and it goes through that area, it will be called as a strike. If the person doesn't hit it, the batter, if the batter misses it, it is a strike. All right, if the pitcher throws it and is outside of that area, it is called a ball. All right, and the way that relates to matches, if you manage to get if you get 3 strikes, the batter is out. All right, and if you get 4 balls, the batter gets to walk to first base, and if there is anybody else on the base, they also get to progress. All right, so yeah, it's important that we manage to get some good pitches, all right, when we're playing. So that's what we're going to talk about now. That is the first couple of rules that you need to know. All right, strikes and balls we'll probably touch on in some other rules a little bit later down the line, linked to batting and things, but they're the basics for pitching. All right, so throw the ball has to go through that strike zone for it to be a strike. The next part is the pitch itself. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you up a little bit differently so we can show you that. Mentioned the strike zone. What we're going to do now is show you go through kind of the process of making the throw. So I've got a little yellow marker down there, which is my pitcher's mound. All right, I'm just going to throw to start off with against the wall. All right, so you can do the same, just to get you kind of practicing. Now, the way we would do it is the basic way of pitching is to have the ball in palm of your hands, fingers around it. Okay, you can use the seam if you've got your finger across a seam to help you. And all you're going to do is you're going to swing your arm back. Okay, let me get my glove on quickly. We'll start in this position here. You'll swing your arm back and then swing your arm forwards. Okay, and the ball will just kind of roll off the hand. Now, another rule in slow pitch pitching, the ball has to go above 6 feet. So as I mentioned, slow pitch, it goes in a bit of an arc, and fast pitch, it just goes directly towards the batter. So the arc it has to go through is above 6 feet, but below 12, all right, and then into the strike zone. All right, and once we put it all together, it will become more clear. So your aim is to get into a habit of throwing it up for it then to come back down towards the batter. All right, I'm gonna do a couple against the wall here quickly, just to show you so you can see me, okay, and my process of kind of bending my knees a little bit, swinging back and swinging up and releasing, just again with the basic hold. Okay, flatten the hand, okay, and then it just kind of rolls off the hand as you throw. So this is a couple that I'm going to do. Another rule, one foot must always stay on the mark. All right, so because I'm right-handed, I would have my right foot on here so that I can step with my opposite hand. Okay, if I was to step with my right, it could get in the way of my hand. So opposite hand to opposite leg. All right, so it would look a little bit like this. Okay, so ball in the glove, step with my left foot, and swing my arm. Okay, very simple. So same again. Okay, that is the basic movement. All right, and that was just a basic grip. Okay, so just holding in the palm of your hand and kind of letting it flick up. So that is the technique of pitching in slow pitch. All right, that was just me showing you how it looks for me and kind of my technique. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open it up, so as if I'm actually pitching towards a batter rather than against the wall. But for practice, just pitching towards a wall is fine. You can move yourself far enough back that you're actually the pitching distance. And again, using a ball or socks or something to adapt. Marking something on the wall, a piece of paper, a tea towel, something that would be within the strike zone. Remembering the strike zone being kind of by the shoulder to the knee of the batter and just the width of the base. Yeah, different ways of doing it, but absolutely fine to just use a wall. Okay, so as I mentioned, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open it up so that you can see what a pitch would look like full length. All right, so the distance between the pitcher's mound and the home plate where the batter would be standing is around about 50 feet, so between kind of 15 and 16 meters. So within that 15-16 meters, you have to throw the ball up above 6 feet, below 12, and get it back down into the strike zone, which is between the batter's shoulder and knee. All right, so it's a very small window, so lots of practice is great. All right, so this is our home plate. This is what we're using as our batter. All right, don't worry about my art skills, they're not great, but this is our batter. So I've just got a pole just so I can kind of reenact a batter being there, so I've kind of got a visual of where I need to get the ball. All right, so that is our batter. So I'm going to grab my glove. I'm going to head over to the pitcher's mound, which again is just our little marker on the floor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to prop you up just behind us so you can see. So, pitcher's mound, our batter is quite hard to see in the background there. All right, so you can see how far away it actually is. I'm going to grab a bucket of balls just very quickly and then show you kind of what some pitches look like. I'll show you from kind of this angle, and then I'll show you again from kind of the batter's angle at where the ball would come in from. So those are some examples of pitches. All right, so a little bit of basics into some of the rules, some examples of how it's done, and some two different ways of actually pitching. So we've got the regular pitch and the backhand that I mentioned. Now, obviously for pitching, as I mentioned, the distance away, you're going to need about 15-16 meters for it to be a full pitch. All right, so full length. If you don't have that, not to worry. All right, if you're indoors in a smaller room, or you're in your garden or at the side of your house, you don't quite have that length, that's fine. If you do have the ability to use the full length and do it properly, then fantastic. Best way to do it if you can. If you have a partner, they could potentially stand as the batter, give you a reference. They could stand as the catcher. So the catcher is the player who stands behind the batter, and when you pitch the ball in, if the batter misses it, they will field it. So your partner or your family member, whoever's helping you with this, could stand behind and they could be a catcher. But yeah, like I say, if you don't have anyone extra or you don't have a lot of space, again, like we have been doing, just use a wall. All right. If you can't get the full distance back, make it shorter. Okay. All you then need to do is just practice the technique. So, as I mentioned about the ball in two hands, step with your opposite foot, and as you step, your arm comes down, swings up. All right. You can practice that. You don't have to be full distance away to practice that. So what I'm going to do now, I'll just quickly show you how that might look if you were at a shorter distance, all right, rather than the long ones I've just shown you. So I've got my pitcher's mound here, the spot. Okay, I'm probably about 5 or 6 meters away from the wall. All right. All I would do is as I mentioned, the height it has to go is between 6 and 12 feet. So I would pick a spot on the wall that is between that height, all right, depending on where you are and how safe it is to do so, what you have around you. All right, my wall's completely clear, so I can pick anywhere between 6 and 12 feet. Use good technique to get the ball to hit that area. So I'm going to do that now quickly, so it just look the same. All right, so bend it down, up, okay. Obviously not going to go as far. It will bounce back, depending if a softball bounces back. If you're using socks or something, it won't. Let me have a little go with my socks. So, socks, I can do the same thing. Same technique. Same thing I've shown you, just with an adapted piece of equipment. Okay, so just looking to get that height. I could even get closer to the wall if I wanted to, okay? You don't have to be too far away, just work on the technique. Even from here. Just practicing that technique to get the ball up, to be able for it to come back down again. Like I said, doing it from a further distance away is going to help you kind of understand whether you're getting it up and down enough. Here you know you're getting it up, but you're not quite sure whether it's going to come down into that strike zone that we talked about. So yeah, if you can go further away, perfect. If not, use a wall, use any kind of space you have, just get used to that technique.